Hello, my name is Dr. Shambles, and today you guys are gonna have to look at my ugly face because today is a different type of video. Now, what we are going to be talking about is what could come in OP09. Now, why am I going to be talking about OP09? Why not? Why now? Why not later or as soon as they announced it? Well, just to catch you up on the loop. Before they even announced the OP08 back in Japan, they actually announced the OP09, telling us that the OP09 would be focused on the 4 emperors. This was done to purposely hype us all for the possibilities of what's coming. I believe they are going to step up their game and be even bigger than it was when the OP05 came up, which OP05 was the biggest set ever, and I think OP09 is going to try to surpass that. And so I've been debating to do this video for a long time, and so because I don't see many YouTubers doing it, I decided to just do it myself. So what I'm going to talk about here is what I believe could potentially be in the set, but not really. It's more of a biased opinion on what I would actually want to see and what I would think it would be interesting to see. So I would like you guys to stay till the end of the video and then comment what your ideas are for this set, because I'm really interested in it. Just before we get into it, I'm just gonna say I'm probably gonna look over here. This is to see if the video is going fine, and I'm going to be looking over there because there are some topics on the script, so I don't run around too much. So OP09 will be focused on the 4 emperors. So what I believe we can not assume, but we can pretty much expect a high chance of getting new leaders of the 4 emperors. 1 leader for each emperor. So let's just talk about it real quick. First of all, I believe the first leader that's going to be on my mind is a pure yellow Luffy leader. They always release a new Luffy leader every set, whatever it's in form of just getting from booster packs or getting from structure decks. I believe the focus here will be a new yellow Luffy leader. Not only that, I think it's going to be a leader focused on the Gear 5 version of Luffy. So I think it would be really cool if we could see, well, we would have the base art, and I think it would be really cool if we see the alternate art would be the Luffy with the glasses from the Egghead. I think that's just my art orientation. I think it will be really cool. I really enjoy that image of him with the glasses, and having it as a leader would be really cool. Also, I believe he's going to be pure yellow, because yellow has a way with life, so they pretty much manipulate their lives and they play with their lives. And I believe what they're going to do, is they're gonna give him an ability kind of like Katakuri. They're going to make Luffy Gear 5 able to manipulate his lives easier. I think they always interlink the people's ability with the lore. So Katakuri has really high vision haki, so that's why his ability is to foresee his lives and foresee his triggers. I think that's really cool. At the time when he got announced, it was like one of my favorite things I saw. And I think Luffy, because when he's on Gear 5, he can pretty much manipulate the arena around him. I think it would be really cool if they put that onto the lives and maybe help you manipulate the triggers a little bit more, maybe reorder life if you reach a certain condition. Pretty much that's what I would like for the Luffy. But again, this is bias, this is what I want to see. I think it would be really cool to have the Luffy as Gear 5 on pure yellow, and I do want to specify pure yellow, because if they give him another color, it will change the strategy around too much. But I think pure yellow would be super fun to see on Gear 5 Luffy. Next is actually the Shanks. The next of our emperor is the Shanks. I think I can speak for everybody when everybody's waiting for a good Shanks leader, and I think a good Shanks leader should be pure red. I think red needs a comeback. Red is not that strong right now. Maybe on pure weight he'll be better, but it doesn't look like it. So I think it would be really cool if they try to make a small comeback. I mean, Dragon is not very bad for what I've seen in OP07. He's viable, but I would like to have a bit more presence of a pure red leader. I don't want the red color to take over. I think the red color has got their fair share in the spotlight, but I would like to have a Shanks that could shine a little bit. When it comes to his ability, well, first of all, I think he would be really cool if we saw all the red-haired pirates, to be honest, and have a more themed deck that would have good synergy with Shanks and only Shanks. But when it comes to the leader Shanks ability, I think it would really be cool if we could see something that obviously focus on his Conqueror's Haki, which is one of the most iconic things of him. So it would be really cool if we had something like attach one Dawn, and when he swings, if there's a rested character with something power, he just KOs it. Or he could KO two characters at a time, but that would be really OP. And I think if that would be a condition, you'd have like, if he attaches 5 Dawn and swing, that's the only time he could really use it. But yeah, I think it would be really cool. Another thing would be like, and something I thought about, he could be a multicolor leader by being a green and red color. And I think it would be really cool if he had, in that case, if it was a multicolor, if he had a somewhat like Perona ability. So Perona can choose between two things. King, that's coming in OP08 as well, but I think Perona is a much better example. So I think if he was green and red, he could have like, you can rest maybe a 4 cost or less, or a 5 cost or less, just like Perona, or you can maybe give minus power. So pretty much it would be like Perona, but instead of being the green-black focus, it would be red-green focus. We could potentially something very OP, like he could rest the character 5 cost or less, just like Perona, by like attaching a Dawn and swinging maybe when attacking, or he could just when attacking KO somebody of 3k power or 2k power or less. You know, I think they would utilize his Conqueror's Haki from the lore, and I think that would be really cool to see. So yeah, that's just my ideas. I still think it would be really cool to see a pure red come back into the meta, but red-green on Shanks, I think it looks good, you know, Conqueror's Haki, you know, rest, you know, make them faint, you know, that types of stuff. That's what I'm thinking about. Next leader is actually the leader I'm most hyped about, and unfortunately, probably a leader that I'm not gonna be able to afford. Now, this is gonna be very biased of me, but the Blackbeard leader, Blackbeard leader, I think he has a potential of being really fun. Obviously, people are expecting him to be black color. This is because black color is really meta right now, and not only that, I think they would like to make Blackbeard meta as well. Not only that, Blackbeard kind of explains itself, you know, Blackbeard. But I would, and this is when my bias comes, I would really enjoy him to be pure purple leader, just pure purple. I think if we get him as a leader, he'll either be pure black or purple black, but I think it would be really fun to just make him a pure purple. The reason is, I think it would bring out the imagination of the card designers, so to speak, and I would really like to see something like you attach 2 Dawn, and when attacking, you would detach 1 Dawn, minus 1 Dawn from the purple strategy, and you could pretty much kind of transform a card into a vanilla. So when attacking, you would negate a card effect. You would target a character on the field or leader, and this would be really OP, I know, but this is just me giving ideas, who cares? And you would pretty much reject all their abilities. So I'm gonna use the Borsalino blocker from the black color as an example. He's a blocker that cannot be KO'd on your opponent's effect, on your opponent's turn by an effect. What will happen is, when you attach 2 Dawn, to this Blackbeard leader and attack, you could minus 1 Dawn, or even minus 2 Dawn, because this would be really OP. I don't know, I'm trying to balancing out, but I shouldn't. I'm just throwing things that could be fun. When attacking, you could target that Borsalino, and then Borsalino would become a vanilla. This means he would not be a blocker, and could now be KO'd by effects. This could be really good. That's why the costs to actually do this ability should be like attaching Dawns and be only when swinging. So you have to commit a swing, and you have to commit 2 Dawns, and you have to commit taking away 1 Dawn to just target one character or leader on the field. I think it would be really fun if they focus on the part of his lore when he touches somebody with his Devil Fruit, he pretty much rejects all their powers, all their devil fruit powers in the anime. So I think it would be really cool to see that implemented in pure purple strategy. But he will probably be pure black or black and purple color. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting. I'm just giving here, it would be really fun to see a pure purple. And the last, for Emperor, the most strongest one. Everybody knows he's going to be reaching the One Piece sooner or later. It's the Buggy. So Buggy, he makes sense to be blue. We always see him in blue color. I think he's going to be blue, but it could potentially be a mix of blue and green. That's a possibility. Now, why am I thinking of him pure blue? I know I'm saying a lot of them will probably be pure colors, but I just prefer leaders being pure colors, if I'm being honest. It's fun when some of them are multicolor, but I believe this in specific are going to be much more fun if they're pure color. So yeah, and I believe, and this is debatable, but I just want to get this out because it's something that people are not thinking about, but I thought about it as soon as I saw the announcement. Buggy could be a potential blue leader, pure blue leader, that has the win condition the same as Nami. So Nami wins by decking herself out, and Buggy could be potentially the next leader to have the same strategy. What this would do is you could transfer the Nami deck you have to the Buggy. Maybe you would get a more defensive leader ability, so Nami, when she attacks with one on and actually takes a life, she will discard one card. Buggy could be something like green purple Doffy, where when you pass turn you just get one rested on back up. Something like that to give you more Dawn to counter out with your events. Could be something simple like that, and then you would just add the win condition that Nami has. He could do that, and what they would do is they would release this Buggy leader with the Nami win condition, and then release like, you know, the 7-cost crocodile that decreases all of your events, all of your blue events cost by 1. They could potentially do something like a 7-cost Nami that does something similar. So they would be buffing Nami, and then they would bring a new leader that people could enjoy with that strategy. Do I want this? Absolutely not. I hate playing against Nami. I actually tried to play Nami like 2 times and I was bored out of my mind, so I never touched that deck again. I don't even research the deck. I don't know, when I play Red Purple Law, obviously I countered that deck really easily, so I know making 7k swings just gonna win, whatever. But yeah, I think Buggy, it would be really interesting if we got Buggy with that with that strategy. But I really don't want another deck with that win condition, especially because I know for a fact if they do it, what's going to happen is the Nami is also going to be getting a buff, and that means we're going to see probably more Nami players depending on that buff. But yeah, it's a possibility. It could be blue and green as well. I think that would be a color that suits Buggy as well. But why am I saying that he probably can have this win condition? Because Buggy is a coward. We know in the anime he's kind of a coward. He kind of just sits there and pretty much like takes advantage of the situation pretty much. He doesn't do a whole lot, and that's what makes him really cool actually. That's what I like about the character. He finds a way to be amongst the strongest without being actually the strongest. He is the strongest, I'm sorry. He's going to find the One Piece. I'm totally talking bullshit. But yeah, when Nami, the strategy of Nami could be interesting. I think it makes sense on Buggy, like he finds another way to win, you know? That's pretty much it. That's what my reasoning behind it. Next is the possibility of new structure deck. Now we now get a new structure deck every set, I believe, or every year actually, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's every year. So we got the structure 10 with the 3 captains, we got the 3 brothers, and I think it would be really cool if the next structure deck, maybe coming in OP09, could potentially be the way we get Buggy as a leader. This is why I believe blue-green Buggy could be a potential multicolor for him if he comes as a leader. This is because every single structure we got, it's always multicolor, and I think it would be really cool if we got I forgot the name of the alliance of Mihawk, Crocodile, and Buggy. So the reason of blue-green would be because Crocodile already has many colors and the only missing is blue-green. So that's the reason why it would be blue-green. It would be multicolor. and I think it would be really cool to smash the three together into a structure deck. But another thing that we need to consider is they always bring a Luffy on those structure decks, so I'm not thinking that they're going to do it. I'm just saying it would be something really cool to see. Like, they just bring... I think Mihawk deserves a leader, by the way. It's about time. And I think coming in that structure deck could be a really fun way to bring him to the game. Crocodile, you know, I got used to the idea of them just releasing a bunch of crocodiles, so I wouldn't mind to see another one with new colors. And then there's the Buggy, which could be the focus of the set and the focus of the deck more, not having the win condition like Tami, but being red-green and kind of move around. But they're probably not going to do that. They always release a new Luffy on those structure decks, so we're probably not going to see it. I think it has more probability of us getting the trio of Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy on that structure deck, since it's something that it's missing actually, than really seeing the alliance of Crocodile, Mihawk, and Buggy. But I think it would be really fun, something really fun to see, and something to change things up, to be honest. So yeah, the last topic I have here to talk about are the reprints and starter decks. I'm gonna be talking about these two together because, in case you don't know, there are new starter decks that are coming, but the starter decks actually bring the old leaders that were very popular at the time. And I think they also announced they were going to be releasing a set full of reprints, and I think it's an opportunity to bring these old leaders with new starter decks and put reprints on those starter decks. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Does this in starter decks and structure decks. They bring a lot of reprints, making it easier for budget players to access core cards. In case of Yu-Gi-Oh! Are mostly hand traps, which I'm all out for it, and I think we could potentially see some reprints here with the new starter deck. So the starter decks are going, let me just see here. So the starter decks are going to be, first is the red color, which is Whitebird. I think this is will be pretty much if you're a beginner player watching this when we are going into OP09, maybe you're watching this video later, I'm actually gonna tell you to buy this. Whitebird is an insane leader, unless he falls off drastically when the OP09 drops. He probably is the best. The red color is the best to start out. I think red and yellow are the easiest decks to take a grasp in when you're just starting to play TCG. And so I think you should bring the Whitebird. Whitebeard should be, obviously the reprints I'm expecting on that Whitebeard could potentially be the 9-cost Whitebeard, which is falling off in meta, so it wouldn't really hurt to get a reprint of that, just to help people that need more budget decks. And so if that 9-cost is dropping in meta, then he should be a budget option since he's not meta anymore. So yeah, that's my reasoning. Another potential reprint could be the Marco, the 5-cost Marco that you drop that KOs 3 costs or less. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just thinking about the two copies of 9-cost Whitebird should be on that starter deck. I think it would be really cool to see. Then we would get reprints like Izo has a searcher and things like that. I think he has really good potential. Another could be the blocker Marco, since that's already a cheaper card. Maybe they could just reprint it once again on that starter deck. But yeah, next is Uta. I don't know what they could reprint. The first card that comes to my mind of reprinting in green color is Fortress Kid, but I don't know if they're going to do it. I don't think because I'm thinking about reprints on these starter decks, but he needs to fit the theme and the lore of the leader. So Whitebird makes sense, you getting the Whitebird 9-cost because he's a Whitebird pirate, it's the man itself, and the Marcos makes for his crew, so yeah. And Uta, it doesn't really make sense to get the Kid reprint because Kid does not have that much connection to Uta. So we're probably just gonna see a bunch of film reprints, maybe Blocker Luffy, that would be really cool, the 7-cost Blocker Luffy. Besides that, I'm not seeing that much possibilities with this deck. This is probably gonna be the deck that is picked up the last for just thinking about what possibly could come out on that deck. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk about it more because I just don't have that knowledge of what potentially green color players would like to see on this starter deck. Next is the blue color Dom Flamingo. Dom Flamingo is actually coming up in the meta is a really fun, and it's actually insane that I made a poll asking people what to buy from these new starter decks. So Smoker was winning all the way, and Katakuri was second, really close second. And so I talked to my friend, I said, I think you wanted to buy the Smoker because you really want to get into black color, right? And he was like, yeah, I'll buy one. I'm like, okay, I'll just buy the Katakuri deck. And I ended up that pool very early. I was like, okay, people spoke their minds. It's really easy to see. There were actually a good amount of votes, so I actually assumed. And then what happened was Whitebeard starting to catch up to Katakuri and then tied with it, but now Smoker is not winning this pool. This pool is still active, and people still vote on it for some reason. Smoker is not winning, Katakuri is not winning, Whitebird is not winning, it's Doflamingo winning by a lot. So people are probably expecting this to be a really good meta contender and really good starter deck to pick up. I've already bought 2 Katakuri starter decks. There's a store that let me pre-order the decks, and they gave me a really good discount because I had problems with the 3 Brothers structure deck. That's where I got 2 of the 3 Brothers structure decks. They had some problems, so they sent me very late, and so they gave me a discount, and it was such an insane discount that I got 2 Katakuri starter decks, and I just paid 1. I decided to buy 2 Katakuri just to have the most copies of. I was thinking about buying 1 Katakuri and 1 Purple Luffy, just because I love purple so much, but yeah. So Doflamingo should potentially be a really good meta contender. I'm thinking about getting Mihawk reprint or Doflamingo reprint, as well as potentially maybe get the event Jinbei that was so OP in OP01, OP02, OP03, that was super expensive. We could potentially see a reprint of that into this deck, and I think it would be really cool to see. Next is the Purple Luffy. Purple Luffy is even with the pool, I was so close of just getting the Purple Luffy. My reasoning, I just enjoy purple, and I think maybe, just maybe, I don't get my hopes up, maybe when the OP09 comes up, they will put a reprint of Bone Clay onto that deck. It could be a possibility, but I don't think we really, I don't think that's, yeah, it's probably not gonna happen. If they're going to focus more on the purple Straw Hat cards, if it comes to reprints, like Zorojuro, the Usopp, the Frankie, and what I'm thinking is they're probably gonna give us 2 reprints, 2 copy reprints of the Gear 5 Luffy. That is something that I think is very worth if you're playing the 6k red purple Luffy, or if you're playing the purple Luffy. I think it would be a really good reprint. And yeah, another reprint would be Queen, but again, it does not fit the Straw Hats, so it's probably not gonna happen. It's probably just going to be the Gear 5 Luffy if we get reprints, and then the rest would be the Wano purple Straw Hats. I think if we get reprints, it should be like that. Keep in mind, these starter decks could potentially see new tech that we don't know yet about. They release new cards with the starter decks. It could be a way, and they could just, for example, revolutionize completely the strategies of each of these leaders. It would be really fun, but I think it would be much safer, and I think it would sell a lot more to use the opportunity of the starter decks to just reprint a bunch of cards. So yeah, Queen could be a potential reprint, but I'm not really feeling it. Again, Straw Hats should be the way. Next is the black color Smoker. I don't know much about Smoker. I actually didn't know that we're going to reprint Smoker. I think maybe they decide to do this when Moria is starting to get traction. So maybe if it was today, maybe they would just reprint Moria because he's the most popular red leader, or maybe Lucci. But yeah, they decide to go with Smoker. Smoker is a very fun deck, by the way. I remember back in OP01, OP02, and OP03, he was seen play, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed his strategy, actually. I tried it out myself. Really fun. So maybe for new players, it will be really fun as well. Again, if they revolutionize the strategies, maybe Smoker can make a comeback. But I'm gonna use the start decks to talk about reprints. Some reprints are the most obvious ones. Borsalino Blocker, Kuzan, and maybe, just maybe, Sabo, but not really thinking about it. Again, Kuzan and the Borsalino should be reprints if they do it. Another card that potentially could get a reprint of with 2 copies is the 10 cost Kuzan. Probably not gonna happen. I mean, Borsalino and Kuzan, as they are not commons, so if they reprint, they're going to give us 2 copies. But they could potentially bring us with the 10 cost Kuzan. I would really like that. I think it would be a really cool reprint. Another card we could see a reprint is the Isho, the Samurai Marine Admiral. I'm forgetting his name for Isho. I'm sorry, it's the blind guy. So yeah, we could see a potential reprint on him as well. There's a really big potential of reprints in this deck. I think he has the most potential of reprints. He's a Marine, and most of the cards that are staples in every deck are Marines. So yeah. Last, I decided to leave for last is Katakuri, which is the one I'm getting. Potential reprints here. Obviously, the 8 cost Katakuri. I think it would make sense, and I would really like to. Again, it makes super sense if they reprinting cards on these starter decks to just put 2 of them into this deck. I mean, it's a Katakuri leader, Katakuri cards, you know. Makes sense, makes sense. Another potential reprint is just the Parasparrow, the Pudding Searcher reprint. It could be maybe the Brulee blocker as well. They could, this is not going to happen, but they could kind of reprint the 10 cost Big Mom. By the way, by the time I'm recording this video, they already announced that they were going to reprint the 8 cost Katakuri and the 10 cost Big Mom in event packs. So you would have to go into top 16 and you would open the pack and you could get a reprint of 8 cost Katakuri. I think they should try, and that's why I think the starter decks are really the biggest opportunity they're ever gonna get to make these reprints super affordable for everybody, and so everybody can play the deck they want. And I think it would be really cool to make the Katakuri strategy affordable, at least since it's already decreasing in popularity and is decreasing in the meta. Maybe they were like, okay, he's not meta, let's just reprint and give people the meta version of him, so people can have a fun around, and he's still a viable deck. But yeah, 8 cost Katakuri is, if we get reprints, I'm sorry, we have to have it. We have to get him. It makes total sense. I can't see any other way. 10 drop Big Mom, again, could be potentially, but not. I think when it comes to like the 7 cost Big Mom, 10 drop Big Mom, and the 8 cost Katakuri, we're probably only going to see Katakuri. I think that makes sense, and I think everybody would be very happy with that. You only play 2, so you want to get 2 reprints as well, because it would be a very rare card, so they always give you 2 copies on the structure decks. So yeah, it makes sense to just put it over there. But again, with all these starter decks, they could potentially put new tech that could revolutionize the strategy altogether of these decks. But yeah, I think it would be really fun. And this was the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do tell me what you guys think. I spoke about everything that was on my mind, so whatever ideas you guys have, please do comment. I'm very interested to see possible predictions. I just decided to tell you guys everything that I was thinking of. And yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Comment what you guys think. I'm gonna really press you on that. I really want to see some opinions. Oh, sorry. So yeah, thank you so much and goodbye.